Not to be left out of the trailer excitement, Marvel had some tricks up their sleeve and we've got a new trailer for Doctor Strange. So let's have a look at it. For starters, we get to see some shots that we've already seen in the previous trailer. Doctor Strange preparing for surgery and his role in the hospital, and then we get to see his fancy apartment and him dressed in a tuxedo looking over the skyline of some city. I'm going to assume it's probably New York at this point. And then we see the accident that ruins his career and destroys his hands. I'm going to assume, because it's the MCU, this accident probably has more details to it that we'll find out later, and it will be connected to something else, but at this point it just looks like a freak accident. We now see the aftermath of the accident, and Rachel McAdams' character is visibly very upset about what's happened to Doctor Strange. Whether they have a romantic relationship is unclear at this point, but we'll see more of her later in the trailer. And then we get some more similar shots that we've seen before. Doctor Strange has started his travels around the world looking for answers, and he comes into contact with the Ancient One, played by Tilda Swinton. Here we actually see a display of some of the powers that he might be learning as she seems to affect reality around him, almost turning into a refracting glass-like state as he walks through it. Here's where things start to get really interesting. We get a lot of things that we haven't seen before in the previous trailer. Another magic user is affecting the reality around them, and then we see some kind of spinning fire portal that they use to travel across vast distances in an instant. Not only is that person using it, but the Ancient One and Doctor Strange go through one, presumably when she is showing him the possibilities of the power that she's going to teach him. We now get a bit of a training montage as the Ancient One starts to teach Doctor Strange in the ways of reality altering, and it looks like he's not the only one being trained in this monastery, or could it be the Sanctum Sanctorum that we've all heard about from the comics? Wherever it is, he's going to be getting his hands on some ancient texts and scrolls and possibly some talismans that we'll go on to in a minute. And now we get to see Doctor Strange using magic for the first time, testing out something he's possibly read in one of these scrolls. And also we now get to see our first look at the Cloak of Levitation, which is one of Doctor Strange's most identifiable features of his outfit. At first glance, this next shot doesn't look particularly strange. It just looks like Doctor Strange is walking up to a window and is about to open it. But if you look really closely, each pane of the window has a different backdrop. One appears to be some kind of forest, another is an ocean, and the third is a mountain range. Is this a display of Doctor Strange's developing magic powers, or is it just part of the Sanctum Sanctorum and he's just about to learn some kind of new skill from the Ancient One? Now we get an indication of the danger that Doctor Strange is going to be facing. We see Mads Mikkelsen's character with his crazy looking eyes, and quickly followed by a destroyed part of the city. Again, it looks like New York, and Mads Mikkelsen's character calls himself Death and Pain, so it looks like Doctor Strange is going to have to do some big reality altering magic to bring him down. Now we see Rachel McAdams' character cowering over a prone Doctor Strange in a hospital surgery room as explosions happen around them. He's wearing his sorcerer's outfit, so it looks like he may have suffered some kind of injury during a fight with Mads Mikkelsen's character perhaps, or maybe he's actually in the middle of doing some kind of astral projection, which is a power that we know he has in the comics, and his body is vulnerable at that time in the real world. Now we see the extent to which these powers can affect reality around us as Mads Mikkelsen's character twists the street in front of Doctor Strange and Baron Mordo and stops them going through one of the spinning portal things. But he's not the only one with some tricks, as Doctor Strange faces up against him on the top of a flight of stairs. It looks like it's possibly inside the Sanctum Sanctorum, and he creates a magic whip from his bare hands and uses it to slash at Mads Mikkelsen's character. At some point there's going to be a big huge street battle. You can just see Doctor Strange and Mads Mikkelsen's character fighting in the middle of the street while the buildings in the street around them are floating up into the sky. And then we see some kind of chase between Mads Mikkelsen, Baron Mordo and Doctor Strange across, around and onto the buildings, smashing them up, and then we see a load of Inception-like shots as the buildings start to sink through a portal and turn in on themselves. Now this is my favourite shot of the entire trailer. The Cloak of Levitation, which we know from the comics has semi-sentience, with the slightest gesture jumps onto his shoulders and connects itself around his neck. So that is really awesome to see. They're giving that the same qualities as it has in the comics. This very next shot just displays how visually stunning the film's going to be. It does look a bit like Inception, but then when you've got a film that is dealing with reality altering, they're going to be compared. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. What I will say about this film is that it appears they're going to be taking those kinds of effects a lot further, not just having the streets bend in on themselves, but they're going to be doing a lot more with them. And understandably, Doctor Strange in the next shot looks very concerned about what's going on and whether he can actually stop what's happening. And of course we get a look at the Doctor Strange logo, just in case you were thinking you were watching some kind of freaky Inception sequel. And because it's a Marvel film, there's going to be some humour throughout the entire film. We see Baron Mordo give Doctor Strange a piece of paper with the word Shambhala on it, and Doctor Strange asks whether that's his mantra. Baron Mordo just replies, "It's our Wi-Fi password. We're not savages." So it looks like there's going to be quite a lot of humour in this film as well. Then to finish things off, we see Doctor Strange mid-battle using some magical shields against some onslaught of magical power against him. So what's he fighting here? Probably Mads Mikkelsen's character, but could it be the rumoured Dormammu as well? Who knows? There's so much more in that trailer than in the previous one we've seen before. We've got a much better look at Mads Mikkelsen's character, and we see a lot of the spells and magic that's going to be going on in the world of mysticism. It looks like there's going to be a lot of reality-altering stuff going on as well, so it's really good to see. And also, there's a little hint at what kind of humour we can expect. Marvel films are well known for their humour, so it looks like this one's going to be no different. As always, the link to the full trailer is in the description below. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, @JackGeekstalk, and Instagram, Jack_Geekstalk. And as always, give this video a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want to see more of this. And also, don't forget to check out our blog, which is in the description below. Give it a like, and there's all kinds of news, reviews, and discussions on there. So check it out, and stay tuned for the next trailer talk.